Hello, my name is Brad Hurst. As many of you know, over the past couple of years, a lot has been said about Revelation 12 and the appearance of the sign on 9/23/17. What has been said has been a mix of both good and bad information. While some information was based on raw empirical data, there was much that was based upon nothing more than speculation and conjecture. Many were not even doing the footwork and were simply riding the coattails of others. The latter of these postings were often carried by blogs and other websites and had wide distribution. In no way do I intend to disparage any who sincerely believe that the blessed hope of the rapture would occur on 9/23/17. At the time, I too believed there was justification to entertain the idea, and I hoped it would occur. Nonetheless, I held some reservation for a number of reasons. 1. Where was, or is, the dragon, that being the red dragon? Using the empirical evidence supplied by Stellarium, I postulated that Nibiru would fulfill that part of the prophecy, for it was in a position to do so. However, it remained unseen and continues to do so even now. And so the question remains, where was and is the dragon? 2. Jupiter was not in the womb of Virgo for 9 months. I cannot emphasize this enough. Those promoting the idea were promoting a verifiably false statement that gave our detractors a big hammer to hit us with. Despite efforts on my part to get them to stop, none would listen. In fact, many proposed the idea as being one of the main components of the sign. However, Jupiter left the womb on 5/22/17 and re-entered on 7/15/17. This fact alone told me that most supposed researchers were not doing the footwork. They were repeating what they heard from others. 3. Jupiter was not the man-child. It is not the man-child. In the ancient world, Jupiter was known as the father star and was associated with God the Father. In fact, that is the meaning of the word Jupiter, which in the ancient world is pronounced Yapater. 4. Where are the scoffers? Where were they? 2 Peter 3:3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where's the promise of his coming? While we saw some form of this prior to the event of 9/23/17, there did not seem to be much mocking going on prior to 9/23/17. Before I move on, let me clearly state, the event of 9/23/17 was foretold in Revelation 12. I am convinced beyond all doubt of that. However, I believe that one of the mistakes that was made was to assert the sign itself was a single day, week, or even single month event. I had postulated the concept of a prolonged event privately, but was not quite sure of the full extent of the sign. Even now, having learned much more since 9/23/17, I anticipate that there is more to the sign than what has been learned even since then and up till now. Nonetheless, I want to take the time to examine what we know now regarding the Great Red Dragon. Before we move on, I want to do something that I rarely do. I know that for many people, credentials are important. Despite claiming to be sola scriptura and emphasizing the priesthood of believers, most people will evaluate the truth of an issue or a statement based upon the credentials of the one saying it. I personally find this appalling, knowing that a person with their Bible can make the worldly wise look foolish. Nonetheless, it is what it is, so if you will bear with me for a moment, I will simply want to put forward my academic credentials along with other relevant information. I became a Christian about 38 years ago at the age of 17. I am 56 years old, married 26 years, and have 7 children. Yes, all from the same marriage. In 1984, I received my BA degree in Bible from the Master's College in Southern California. I have an AA in Fire Science Technology and an AA in Police Science. Additional coursework is as follows: physics, astronomy, botany, biology, and EMS technology. From the University of Tel Aviv, I have studies in ancient Assyria, the history of the modern Middle East, and the development of the modern state of Israel. From Northwest University, I have studies in the Midrash, Talmud, and the Torah. From Covenant Baptist Theological Seminary in Owensboro, Kentucky, I have studies in the history of Bible prophecy. From Reformed Theological Seminary, I have studies in the history of Western philosophy. From Bonson Theological Seminary, I have studies in apologetics and systematic theology. From the University of Milan, Polytech University, I have studies in the relationship of astronomy and the ancient stone structures. My ministerial background is as follows. From 1983 to 1994, from 1983 to 1984, I was a pastoral intern. From 1980 to 1992, I was children's church director. From 1987 to 1992, I was a chaplain in Los Angeles County Jail. 1987 to 1992, again, I was a Christian bookstore clerk and literary advisor. 1989 to 1990, I did mission work in South America and Eastern Europe. 1994 to 1995, I was a co-founder of a Christian seminary in the Islamic Republic of Kazakhstan. From 1996 to the present, I have primarily been ministering to our 7 kids through biblical training, theology, catechism, and individual discipleship training. This has allowed both me and my wife, or my wife and I, to reach more people for Christ than any formal setting mentioned above. My professional background is as follows. 1994 to 1995, I was the grounds and facility and superintendent for the Master's College. Actually, that is from 1987 to 1994. From 1992 to 1994, I was a lead foreman for the City of Dublin Public Works Department. 1995 to present, I was self-employed at the landscape, concrete, and irrigation, and home repossessions. From 2004 to 2005, I was a police officer. From 1998 to 2006, I was a firefighter. From 2013 to the present time, I'm a long-term substitute teacher teaching in areas of science, history, English, and math for several school districts. Yes, even now, I find myself being involved in many tasks, both in and out of the home. I am like everyone else who needs to provide for his family, raise and train their kids, and serve the body of Christ in whatever way possible. With regard to the latter, my service of recent has been primarily through research and writing as I try to bring clarity to difficult concepts of biblical thought, which brings us to the purpose of this presentation. It is my sincere hope that I can clear up some of the confusion, not only with what did or did not happen regarding Revelation 12 and 9:23-17, but to also help us to know more about what to look for in the future. Though a bit lengthy, there are several videos, and I would like to encourage you to watch all of them all the way until the end if you're inclined. If so inclined, please leave your comments below. The information that is about to be presented in the videos the information that is about to be presented in the videos to follow comes through a variety of sources, from NASA, observatories, universities, periodicals, books, research papers, and online resources. In most cases, I was able to get the original source information and verify what was being presented. In cases where astronomical information was being presented, I used both Stellarium and Google Earth to stand, virtually that is, in the place and time and look at the night sky like it would be at the time being stated. I made none of the information up and endeavored to keep to the raw data. This is not a professionally done presentation. I simply do not have the resources to do that. I used whatever resources I had available and had to borrow from others. At time, we are in my home. At other times, I'm at work making use of whatever I'm permitted to do so. At other times, I'm using just a regular old camera, and it's just me and my 12-year-old daughter who are filming. It is what it is. We do the best that we can, so please keep this in mind and enjoy, and feel free to leave any comments in any of the videos in the links below. Thank you and enjoy.